are you gonna help? If you're on the internet, you've probably seen a lot of videos about freelancing and its many benefits. You can be your own boss. You can make your own schedule. You can work part-time hours and make a full-time income. I've personally said all of those things, but hot take here, freelancing is not for everyone. So if you're curious about freelancing, but you're not sure if it's for you and you don't know anything about it, keep watching this video because I'm gonna tell you what you need to know before you get started. Plus, I'll tell you what personality traits I've noticed in my experience as a freelancing coach that you really need in order to be a successful freelancer. If you don't know me, hello, my name is Colleen Welsch. I'm a freelance beauty copywriter. I make around 5K to 8K per month working less than 20 hours per week. And this is Peaches. Aww. Yeah, this is a freelance writer's guide. It's a freelance writer's guide. It's so nice out there. Let's be outside. All right, so my goal with this video is to zoom like all the way out and explain freelancing for someone who has no idea what I'm talking about. So the first thing that you need to know if you want to be a freelancer is why people would want to hire you. Like, why do people hire freelancers? Peaches, you better not be under the deck. So people hire freelancers for 3 reasons. 1, they want to hire an expert to do something better than they can do it. 2, they want to hire someone to do something for them because they don't have time to do it themselves. Or 3, they could do it, but they just don't wanna. People hire freelancers, sometimes a combination of these reasons, but that's kind of what it boils down to. This is really important because only in the first case where they want to hire an expert do you really need to be an expert at the service that you're offering. That's really the only time that you need to be better at doing the service than the person who is hiring you. But in the other cases, even if you're not yet an expert in your chosen field, you can still assist them. You still have something to offer because you are willing to trade your time to complete the service in exchange for money. And believe me, there are people out there who want you to do that. For example, in my business, yes, I can do graphic design. I could make my own social media graphics. I could write my own emails. I can edit these videos. I know how to do all that stuff, but I just don't want to do it. And honestly, I don't have time to do it. And I outsource all of that stuff. So in all of these cases where people don't have time or they don't want to do something, they're going to outsource and they're looking for someone who's not necessarily an expert who charges a lot of money to do it. In fact, sometimes they're like, well, I can outsource this, but I can only allocate, $25 an hour to it. I cannot pay someone $200 an hour to do this, and I don't need that level of expertise anyways. Even if you are not a super expert at something, you still have the opportunity to make people's lives easier. Peaches, what are you doing? Okay, the second thing you need to know is how to do something that people want to pay for. I mean, this is really like the root of all entrepreneurship. You need to have something that you can sell, some service in which you are competent. Not an expert, but competent. You have to be able to get the job done within a reasonable time frame. Okay, so let's talk about some different ideas of freelance services you could offer. Now, these are just kind of some basic ones. Writing SEO blog posts, which is what I do. Graphic design. Video editing, bookkeeping, social media management, transcription, translation. That is the tip of the iceberg, okay? I've heard of people like writing eulogies, like for funerals. I've heard of people creating dating profiles, developing personal style lookbooks. Like there are so many options when it comes to freelancing online, like it's crazy. So if you're not good at any of the things that I have just described or they don't sound interesting to you, don't worry. There's a lot out there. Just do your research. Like you could just go on Fiverr and look at all the different services that people are offering on there just to get some ideas. The other thing I want you to do after watching this video, besides going on Fiverr and seeing what other people are doing, is make a list of things that you can do that other people might not necessarily want to do or have time to do. And that's like really how I got into freelancing. I identified something that I realized people did not have time to do, did not know how to do, and I knew how to do it, and I liked doing it and had time to do it. And that is writing blog posts. So I worked in marketing for a beauty brand and I had written a blog, like a beauty blog, for years, and I really enjoyed it, and I was pretty good at it. Yeah, I started working on this marketing team, and they had a blog on their website. Nobody wanted to write blog posts except for me, so I was like, other marketing teams probably have the same issue where they have a blog and nobody wants to write it. So why don't I just start emailing people that have a blog on their website that's not updated and saying, hey, let me do this for you. And that's how I started my business. Sorry, my dog is now running away. Make a list of things that you can do that other people don't want to do and begin there.
What a nice day it is.
So the third thing that you need to know to become a freelancer is the definition. Don't bite me. It's the definition of a service-based business. So if you're a freelancer, you're running a service-based business. And most people think about businesses as like selling like a product, but instead of selling a product, you're selling a service. And another way you could think about this is you're selling your time. You're selling the time it takes you to make this thing or to do this service. So if you're having a hard time conceptualizing this, let me give you some examples of other types of service-based businesses that you've almost definitely encountered. Beauty salons, personal trainers, dentists. Like, does that make sense? You go to one of these places, they do the service for you, and then you pay for it. So if you're a freelancer, you're gonna do basically the same thing, but you're gonna do it online. Someone comes to you via the internet, you do the service, and they pay you. Of course, in my case, I always charge up front. That's another story for another time. But basically, you're exchanging your time for money. So the fourth thing that you need to know is the basics of running a service-based business. Let's start with clients. What are clients? Clients are the people or the business that pays you to perform a service. As a freelancer, you spend a lot of time finding clients, and actually when you start being a freelancer, you spend like 100% of your working time just finding clients. That's how it works. And eventually, you'll spend much more time actually doing the work than finding the clients. And ideally, we want to minimize the time where we're doing anything that we're not getting paid for. Okay, so most freelancers get started finding clients on freelancing platforms like Upwork and Fiverr. You can also find freelancing clients through like freelancing job boards or creative temp agencies or even like Facebook groups. But some people run their freelancing businesses like completely independent of any kind of platform, and that's what I do for the most part. I don't work on platforms, and I'm happy to make more videos on why I do that, why I think that is a good idea. So if you are working independently of platforms and you are in charge of creating your own opportunities, you're not waiting for an opportunity to come to you. It does require some more boldness, but it can really pay off. So one of the best ways to do this is by cold pitching, which is when you reach out to potential clients that you don't know and you pitch your services to them. And if you would like to learn more about cold pitching, then watch this video. And I also have a template, and it's the same exact script that I used when I was finding clients. Anyways, the basics of running a freelancing business are as follows. 1, you find a potential client. 2, you have a conversation with them and figure out how you will work together. Then you create a proposal and a contract based on that conversation. 3, you complete the project. 4, you send them an invoice and they pay you. 5, repeat forever until you retire, basically. The other details that you need to know is that you need to track all the money you make and spend on your business. Then you use those records to help you pay your taxes. And that is running a service-based business in a nutshell. As a freelancing coach, I've worked with a lot of students, and some went on to become successful freelancers and some just kind of gave up on it. So after several years of this, I have noticed like certain personality traits that seem to do better with this type of work. And I'm not saying like if you don't have these personality traits, you're like you suck or anything. I'm just saying that this is what I have personally noticed tends to be favorable towards this type of work. But of course, there's all types of work out there, and there's also all kinds of ways to run your freelancing business. So even if you don't necessarily have these traits, doesn't mean you can't be a successful freelancer. But I think it is easier for people who have these traits. One thing is they're curious. They like learning. They make time to learn more about running a business, marketing, their industry, and their service. If you are a person who loves to read nonfiction, you like to listen to podcasts and watch educational YouTube videos, which you might be if you're watching this video right now, then that's a good personality trait for being a freelancer. They're willing to try new things, even if that means that they might fail. They might be afraid to fail, but they're brave enough to try anyways, because like, I don't even remember who said this, but like, it's not about not being afraid, it's about being afraid and doing it anyway. Maybe Nelson Mandela said that? I don't know. I'm so bad with remembering quotes. They're organized and focused. I think like a lot of people who are neurodivergent like struggle in traditional working environments. So even if you are neurodivergent, like you can do this. You just need to know how your brain works and how to like trick yourself into getting stuff done, basically. That's something I'm always working on, is how to like be productive without stressing myself out. That's something you all are always learning, right? And that goes along with being curious and just trying to learn different stuff. They don't make excuses. So look, there's never gonna be a perfect time to start a freelancing business. That is a fact. Okay, you can't like wait until you move into a new apartment or like get over a cold or like quit your job or whatever. Like there's always going to be something that comes up that is going to be some kind of barrier that you have to break through in order to get the work done that you want to. Because let me tell you this, there's always something. I'm a freelancer. I've been freelancing for years. There's always something going on in my life that makes getting my work done kind of difficult. For example, I have a puppy that's chewing on everything and I gotta watch her all the time. But before I had the puppy, you know, I was sick for a while. And before that, it was summer. It was hot in my apartment, or not my apartment, my house. I was hot. I didn't want to be inside. And before that, I was like, oh, it's cold and I'm sad. You know what I mean? There's always some stupid crap going on. And you just have to get your work done. And it is important to prioritize rest and know your limits. But like at the end of the day, like you have to work. So, and also just recognizing that the only time that you can affect change in your life is in the present. Like this is the only moment you have, is right now. We only have the present. The present is the only thing that's real. Does that make any sense? If you are pushing things off to the future, to the future, to the future, you're gonna run out of future one day and you have no idea when that day is gonna happen. So you might as well just do it now. Sorry, I feel like these videos always get so morbid, but like I am very morbid, but I think that thinking about death helps us live a better life, personally. What do you think, Peaches? Do you like to think about death? You're so cute. Oh! Speaking of thinking about death, just fell off the deck. Okay. Another trait I've noticed is that they stick with it. Yeah, you need grit to be a freelancer, and I guess like you need to be able to thrive in a situation where you will receive no positive feedback for a long time and be able to keep going. If you constantly crave positive encouragement at work, then you're probably not gonna like this field. But I mean, you know, I always said that I wanted that when I worked in an office, but then once I started freelancing, I personally noticed that just like getting paid more was enough positive encouragement for me. So, or like just hooking a client or something. So it might turn out that you're okay with that. And finally, you need to genuinely like the service that you're providing. I genuinely love writing. I really like writing blog posts. I don't even really care what they're about that much. I just like doing it. Because if you're only focused on money and you're just trying to do a service because you think it'll make the most money, but you don't actually really like doing it, you're not going to be able to stick with it in the long term. And then you probably won't do it anymore. So yeah, it is really rewarding if you have the right type of personality to do this work. I hated working in an office. I was not good in a traditional work environment. I never got fired, but I know that places that I was working, they were beginning the process of firing me, because it does take a long time to get fired, and I knew that. But freelancing is not suitable for everyone. But if you were watching this video and you're like, I still want to do it, well, great. If you are interested in freelancing as a copywriter or an SEO blog writer like myself, then check out my course. It's called The Freelance Writer's Guide to the Galaxy. I mean, you don't have to, but I'm just telling you this exists. So it's an online course that gives you a step-by-step action plan for how to start and grow a freelance copywriting business. Plus, I have monthly office hours over Zoom in case you get stuck and need some help, and I'll include the link below if you're interested. Okay, that's it for today, buddy. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe. And if you have any suggestions for topics I should cover in the future, then leave them as comments below. Okay, bye buddy, watch for deer. Bye! Isn't she cute? Look at her. Look at this puppy.